It's either him or it's him. Ruben Amorim wants only one midfielder, Carlos Baleba. The bid is about to go in after a very tense meeting involving Amorim and these guys who deal with the transfers, directing, negotiations, categories, name them. Jason Wilcox, they were all there, and Amorim made it so clear. You must bring me that player. I don't care what cost. He's the guy I want. If he wants to join us, he's the guy I want. Fam, this is wrong. This is so wrong. What's wrong? No, it's not Man United wanting Baleba. Don't get it twisted. Guys, I'm at a barrio, but I had to excuse myself and come talk about United and Baleba. I cannot live such a kind of life. Honestly, this is a wrong life I'm living, isn't it? Really? But this United, ahead of this new season, ahead of Arsenal, fam, I'm sorry, but I have to make time for it in in whichever way, at whichever place I am, which time it is. I've got to make time for this United and what's going on with it. But tell me about you. How do you feel about the current progress of Man United and the transfers, especially with the midfield and the goalkeeper? Because as it looks, by the way, Amorim seems to be okay with starting the season with Andre Onana, Bindil, and probably Hitton. He doesn't care, but he needs a midfielder. I told you this guy views football mostly, I think, the way I would if I were a manager. But I do not view the world as you do. If you think the internet is a place to go to for research, for leisure, for entertainment, I think you're underestimating the power of the internet. Come and understand how you can get a lot of money from the internet with your phone data and that time that you spend there. You need to understand how it works. Whichever part of the earth you are, if I tell you where I am right now, you'd wonder. But the internet is for all of us, and even people in a village as deep as where I am right now can earn from it easily and so fast. But first things first, subscribe, smash that like button, share, and drop a comment letting me know how much salary do you think Carlos Baleba should be given. Brighton seem to be again clear. They need a total package at least of 100 million, either cash with some add-ons and maybe a player. I don't know. The whole package is supposed to be up to 100 million at least for now for Brighton. Sounds like high, and I honestly think they can lower their expectations. Really, they can calm down and get something reasonable. For the personal terms, it's going to be so easy for Man United because the boy is earning £12,500 per week. Really, you can multiply that by 10, and still for Man United, even with the PSR issues and them wanting to cut down on their wages, they will still be able to pull off that. Forget about the goalkeeping. Let's focus on Baleba. So what's happening is reports are suggesting that there was a very serious board meeting where Amorim made it clear to everyone in there that we not know exactly the names of people who are in that meeting, but the key thing in the meeting is the fact that Amorim made it clear that he wants Carlos Baleba, like as early as yesterday, this summer, he wants Baleba. He might understand if they don't get him in time for the Arsenal game, but he must be the midfielder they bank on starting as early as possible in this season. If it's not in time for the Arsenal game, before the transfer window closes on the 1st of September, Amorim wants Baleba at Manchester United. Now, he made it clear. Because again, like I've told you, I mean, you cannot sign all these fancy players, bring your strikers and boomers, and you think you've done it when the engine room is lacking. It's clear, it's obvious, it's known, it's a no-brainer. We all know that in football, the midfield wins you games of football, gives you control of games, makes you calm. It's the engine. And we all agree that Carlos Baleba is a proper fit profile for that team. And guys, not that there are any guarantees that he will perform, because there are no guarantees in football, especially at this level. But at least we can all universally agree in unison that Baleba looks like the perfect player for that midfield. And Amorim is insisting, don't confuse him trying to go for any other player. Fermin Lopez, they mentioned, is staying put at Barcelona. They mentioned players like Adam Wharton, name them. Amorim is stuck on Baleba for one reason. Of course, not just because he's Cameroonian and maybe the cohesion of Mbomo and Onana, who seems to be staying. Maybe partly because he's trying to have that in the team. I don't know whether it matters in any way. But the most important thing is what he gives you, the balance he gives you as a player. So that bid is expected to be going in later today, perhaps even. So don't you be surprised if before close of business today, you hear of a bid number one going in. It might not be so big. The first bid is just to try and test the waters and see the reaction, because the reaction of Brighton gives you an idea of how much more you need to add on to get the player. So that's what is going on. But away from Baleba, who for me, I think I'm beginning to believe and be convinced now that actually Man United will get him. But the other player who is being discussed now is um, Hoyland. Hoyland and AC Milan are advanced. He's listening to their offer. The talks are going well and advanced. He seems to have chosen AC Milan, 6 million euros and 45 million euros in add-ons. He seems to have agreed now that AC Milan is the option to take. With all Newcastle, the interest from Newcastle and reports in several other countries, Turkey and elsewhere, who still wanted to get it. Germany, RB Leipzig. It seems AC Milan is the project he wants to join with Massimiliano Allegri, who is also rebuilding AC Milan. So if they look at you at that age as a player who can come, AC Milan is a big team, definitely. I think it's a sensible deal, I think, for Hoyland, and it's not surprising that he would really want to listen to such a deal. So that's what's going on with Rasmus Hoyland. He will be, I think, anytime from now, leaving. Antony seems to have been trying to, as if, play a certain game. I think they are giving him timelines to make his decision on where he wants to go. And I think where United is headed, they are going to get a bit ruthless with these players. I think they have been calm with them, and they think probably United have no plan for them. They think United are desperate to keep to let them go, and they perhaps can play on that to stay around a season long, also buy themselves time. But I think United are having it. They've had enough of it. And at this point, I will tell you, Sancho, Anthony, and all these players, Garnacho. For Garnacho, there is a bit of advanced talks going on with Chelsea. It's a matter of time and the valuation between the clubs. It's now between club to club. But for Anthony, clubs want him, but he seems to be pushing a certain agenda, either for the summer to close without a clear decision and stuff, or maybe force a move through to a particular team, maybe for cheap, Real Betis or whichever. Yet there are clubs that are willing perhaps to offer reasonable money, but it doesn't seem to be giving the green light for talks to go on. So Man United are saying, no, we are not having this. So very soon, there's going to be a bit of ruthlessness when it comes to certain players, by the way, at Manchester United. And I'm telling you, certain movements are going to happen. After Hoyland, who seems to be clear, Rashford was mentioning about the rot at Man United and how they rebuild. The transition has not even started because of how they sack coaches and stuff. And it makes sense because I think it's just starting now with Amorim. Honestly, since Alex Ferguson left, this looks like the only clear rebuild with a sort of a direction and a conviction that it really can work and they're headed somewhere. There is a plan. There seems to be a plan. With the past regime, I think you wouldn't say the same. But one thing I can keep saying is that you need to understand how the internet pays if you don't know how it works. Because the internet in 2025 is not just for vibes and interest and fun. It's for earning, fam. You can earn from it. Come and learn how it's done. Back to my burial. Isn't even time. I think they've even buried the guy. But anyway, anytime is United time. I'm waiting for you. Please have an hour.